If you thought Colleen Ballinger's apology was bad, you should read her books. But don't worry, I know you can't read, so I'll do it for you. Hello everyone, I'm Alex and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be reading Miranda Singh's My Diary, but it spelt like diarrhea. I wonder who these are aimed at. Probably the people that Colleen talks to in her group chats. 13-year-olds. Instead of getting straight into the book, let's watch the kind of advertisement she made and posted on YouTube for this book, which is incredibly disturbing. It made me want to cry.
Something terrible has happened. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out.
Do you reckon this is what it was like when she saw all of the controversy around her name? Do you reckon this was her real reaction? This was what happened about 10 minutes before she pulled the ukulele out.
I was cleaning out my room and I found all my diaries from my whole life. Every diary I ever wrote, all my secrets. I taped them all together to make a really good book for myself to read.
God, I hope there isn't more secrets in this book. There is. It's kind of mental that nobody read this book and decided that it shouldn't be published. It's that weird.
Somehow, Simon & Schuster, a big book company, got a hold of all my diaries and they published it. All my secrets, everything about me is in this book. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out.
Maybe don't do that with your eyes. This is meant to be funny, guys. It's even funnier when you realise that all of these secrets that she says she was keeping, she was actively messaging to teenagers on the internet. Like, she was spending her time DMing fans about the fact that she was divorcing her husband and how much she hated him. This book's gonna be really saucy.
Everything is in this book and its pre-order is open today. People can start buying my secrets today. It has every secret about me in it. My whole childhood, people in my family I never want you to know about. Secrets from my tour. Secret relationships I never even told you about. Things you should never know. I am one of the most famous people in the entire world. This wasn't supposed to happen to me. Why couldn't I have just had a sex tape? That would be better.
It wouldn't be a Colleen video if she didn't mention sex in some way, shape or form. Who is this book aimed at? Weirdly, this book is aimed at children. And do you know how I know that? Because it opens up with a page of all of her fans and their kids. Not a good start. So now we've seen the trailer. I don't know about you. I really want to give it a read. Let's start with chapter 1. My Diary by Miranda Singh, the #1 New York Times best-selling author. Does everybody get that? I'm pretty sure everybody gets that. If I end up releasing a book, I reckon I get that. Don't tempt me. But do you know what I am releasing? New internet sensation hoodies are coming out very, 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 very soon. This is the acid wash one. I will be wearing it right now, but I'm in Rome in Italy and it's 40 degrees. But it's a lovely hoodie and I brought it with me just in case. So keep an eye out, because it'll be out soon. So the book opens up with this. Dear Diary, guess what? I found all my old diaries from my whole entire life when I was looking for a snack underneath my bed. So I decided to tape them all together to make one huge book that I can read whenever I want, to remember all the memories. I remember them from my memory that I can remember. So this is basically my autobiography. Too bad there is so many secrets in it, or else I could sell it and make a fortune. Sorry, it's hard to read. It looks like it was written by a child. I know that's kind of the joke, but it just feels like watching something that a serial killer's made at this point. And we've got the table of contents. So we've got #1, baby book, #2, homeschool, #3, prayer journal, then high school, then stardom, then stardummist. That would probably include everything she's done in her career, especially talking to those teenagers. So we'll start at the beginning, where all good books tend to begin. It opens with this like self-congratulating like ego trip. It's very strange. It says about the author, Miranda Singh. She's incredible. She's a singer, dancer, actor, model, magician, etc. She already has a #1 New York Times best-selling book and 2 seasons of her own Netflix original series. We might end up watching that at some point. I've heard it's god-awful. If you guys want me to watch it, I will for a video. I'll probably get somebody in to watch it with me because I'm not going to be able to stomach that alone. 15,000 likes and I'll subject myself to that. She's got a sold-out world tour. Well, we all know how poorly that's aged. Stop letting kids put their hand down your trousers, Miranda, on stage. That's a weird thing to do. She also has a cat. Yes, well, she used to have a dog, but then a video leaked. Well, it didn't leak. What am I on about? She posted it. It's weird to say that. It didn't leak. She actually posted it.
I used to actually rip things up or get angry. So I grabbed my dog for no reason, just grabbed the dog and pinched its skin and dug my nails into it. The dog yelps, turns around to protect itself and bites me in the face. And I got stitches, I went to the hospital.
Did she add the music to that? The fun music? God, if she has a cat, save them now, because that video is mental. Well, we do know she's got 2 Persian cats, and they're the only things that she's ever groomed. It all comes full circle. You gotta remember that this is like a book for children. There's a picture of her, like the ultrasound of her as a child, and in the bottom right it says, "I lived in my mum's tukey before I was born. So I don't even want to know how he got inside to take this picture." I guess that's referring to the doctor. Now that gives me a mental image that I don't want. I can only imagine being like the 8-year-old this is aimed at, reading this and being amazingly confused by the whole thing. Now, if you remember, there's this famous line from Colleen's apology that we'll cut in here.
Stab me repeatedly in my bony little back.
She's got a bony back, doesn't she? That's what Colleen says. She loves going on about being skinny. It's one of her favourite things to do. Well, on this page of the book, it says, "Wow, I was 114 pounds when I was born, and now I'm 124. I only gained 10 pounds since birth. Skinny legend." Yeah. She really, really loves being skinny. That's why she was doing all of that body shaming. She loves the body shame. That got leaked in all of those DMs, and it's great to see that it makes its way into the book. Make sure everyone knows that you're skinny. And that you hate fat people. Now this part of the book I'm gonna have to blur because I'm looking at it now and it's making me really uncomfortable. I'm not joking. Like, I know I've been kind of joking around in this part. This is fucking weird. She drew an arrow pointing at like her private parts. It's a picture of her as like a toddler and it says, "Really, mum? Taking pics of me with no pants on? How am I supposed to sell my merch if I'm not wearing my red sweatpants?" It's fucking odd. Like, I don't want this on my phone anymore. This is a book that is aimed at children. And you're putting like weird, inappropriate references in there to pictures of yourself as a kid, which isn't like the first time she's done this. Like in her live show, she called herself a prostitute and pointed to herself like naked as a child. So this seems to be like a running theme where she loves to sexualize herself when she was a child. It's odd. By the way, trying to read this book is like impossible. I mean, you guys can see this page that I've got on screen. Like, how am I meant to read this? It's a nightmare. So this one says "My First Friend," and it's a picture of Miranda and it's pointing at this girl next to her, like this child, and she's written on it, "Let us get one thing straight. This girl was not my friend. I would never be friends with anyone who has bangs like that. She's obviously a murderer. I can't believe my mum did this, calling me a baby when I'm obviously like 4 or 5. Child abuse." Let's not talk about child abuse or inappropriateness with children, Colleen. But what a fascinating page. I know it's a character, and I know it's meant to be a joke, and I don't want to sit here and overanalyze this book. Like, that's the last thing I want to do. I kind of want to take it for what it is, and, you know, just kind of say what's weird about it. I wonder if that person even knows that they're in this book. They just had their baby picture posted and then Colleen calls them a murderer. It's not funny, I'll tell you that. It's not a funny book. Then there's just a page that just says "My first poo," and it's got a picture on it and everything. I'm gonna blur that out because it's fucking grim. This is a 34-year-old woman. I don't know how old she was when she made this, but she was like in her late 20s at least. It's just fucking grim. Then we get on to this part, which you guys have already seen the video, called "My First Pet." This cat was so rude, he ran away the day after I stole him from our neighbour's house. Now, I don't know if that's a joke or not, but based on the video we've seen about the way that she treats her animals anyway, wouldn't really be a surprise if the cat tried to get as far away as possible. I can't believe she's allowed to own any pets after admitting to doing that on the internet. It actually makes my blood boil. There's nothing that worries me more than when somebody hurts animals. There's nothing that makes my blood boil more than somebody who would be willing to do that. Let alone somebody who would like put funny music underneath it and tell it as like a story. Also, to the person who sat next to her in that video that we played, the fact that you didn't say anything at the time, shame on you, you fucking scumbag. I can't believe, if one of my friends said that next to me, I'd never speak to them again. I'd be like, "You're a fucking psycho. You're an actual psychopath. Leave me alone." And then there's another thing here. It says, "Really, mum? Takes pics of me with no pants on again. I drew some on, Got to sell that merch. She loves promoting her merch over pictures of her as a child after pointing out that she's got no clothes on. It's a weird segue. How is this the whole act? What is going on here? It's so odd. I can't believe all of this stuff is only just coming to light. Like, I can't believe this got published and nobody thought that this was weird. I guess it was making so much money that they just don't question it. I finally got a pet that I loved. He was my best friend forever, Charlie the Fly. I don't know whose bunny that is. I hate animals, gross. Now the thing is, we know she hates animals because she got a dog killed. And then there's another joke here. This snake was dumb. He wouldn't stay on my neck like a necklace. I set him free by flushing him down the toilet. That's probably a joke again. I'm not going to accuse her of actually doing this. But knowing Colleen and what she does get up to, would it be far-fetched? She's a nut job. We've then got like more fake stuff written up. This is the bit where she like details her school life as Miranda sings as the character. It writes like this. Dear Bethany, I regret to inform you that we can no longer have Miranda in our first grade classroom. She has continued to be quite problematic. Yeah, she carries that on throughout life actually. We assumed you would discipline your daughter after we informed you that she accidentally flushed the class hamster down the toilet and then urinated in the magic reading carpet for a week because she didn't want the hamster to steal her pee. Well, apart from this just being the cringiest thing I've ever read, ever, why are so many jokes in this about animal abuse when you literally abused an animal and got them killed? It's like she's telling on herself. It's odd. And then she's written under it, flushing that hamster was not an accident. Just like killing that dog, I guess. By the way, I can't believe that this book was like a #1 selling book. Like, look at this. You guys could see this. Like, this is an actual page from this book. This is one of the 228 pages of pure literacy that you can read. We've had authors like J.R.R. Tolkien. I was going to say J.K. Rowling, but they go in the same kind of area now, don't they? Hell. But this is what gets published now. No wonder kids don't fucking read. We got another animal abuse joke. You just keep on going through and there's just more and more and more. Miranda is me, Miranda is me, Miranda is me, Miranda is choking a cat. It's just like reading the scribblings of a madman, but you should properly read into them because there's probably clues where they've hidden the body. Here's a good one. Dear Mum, please stop writing in my school book. Your handwriting is so sloppy. I can barely read it. It's so loopy. Just tell me my school and I'll do it myself. Also, how come my sister has a diary and I don't? Yeah, you can see that. She's written that in a book that is literally aimed at children. Dear Diary, I found a dead bird today. I took its feathers to play with it. It was fun. And then it's just a picture of loads of feathers. Why does it look like something a genuine serial killer would have made? Am I just not in on the joke here? There's a picture attached here of Miranda and a bunch of kids, and one of the kids doesn't have a shirt on. And she's written next to it, these boys want to be with me so bad they can't even keep their shirts on. That is a weird thing to retroactively write about a bunch of kids when you're 34. I wonder if they know they're in these. I wonder if these people actually know that they're in this book. And the thing is, you know that she's writing this for kids because in this page here, you've literally got a picture of her with fans and they both look like they're teenagers. There's no way that they're, you know, older than like 15. There's also a section in the book where she shows off a lot of the fan art that she gets sent. Now this one really stood out to me because not only is the picture really good, the person who did it is Molly, who is aged 6 years old. Now we've read through this book, we've read through the contents of it, and if you haven't seen her Netflix show, I did a video on my channel that you could go watch. It's one of my previous videos. The content just shouldn't be aimed at children. Children shouldn't be watching it. Knowing that she created a character that grew a child audience, and then she took those fans and then messaged them inappropriate stuff as teenagers by taking stuff like their fan art and then actually, like, you know, befriending them, which is something that somebody shouldn't be doing as a 34-year-old with teenagers, especially as an adult who's in a position of power. It just makes you look through this book of her, like, with all of this fan art. Like, most of these people were teenagers, aged 12, and it just makes you terrified. Look at this picture here of all of these people who are fans. Most of them are literally children. It's mad. Well, that's the large majority of my diary done, but there were a few things that I saw in her other book that I actually unfortunately own a physical copy to. I will burn it. Now that was everything from my diary that I've gone through that I read. I'm not gonna lie to you, I skimmed through most of it because it was making me so uncomfortable. I couldn't bear to stomach the entire thing. But I actually do own a physical copy of her other book, which is equally as disturbing, and that is her biography, and it's very strange again. For example, there's a bunch of stuff that I missed in my last video. She has a page here called How to Cuddle. Now, there's a bunch of just kind of like normal ones, back to back, spoon, in the womb, Christian, 69, inappropriate, arguably, if it's for kids. And then one that's just called The Uncle, and it's just like a bloke lying on top of her. And I think it's quite obvious what's being implied there. Then there's another page, Uncle's House, very private place where you could play with your daddy saddle, a shed. And then it's got like a list of warnings next to it. And it's like, do you want genital warts? Once again, implying something incredibly dark. She's got another page of her asleep, and then the thing under it says, pictures my uncle took to show how I sleep. What is this weird obsession with like having a creepy nonce uncle? Why is this something that she so needed to have in her book aimed at kids? Then there's this page. I mean, what do I even say to that? And we haven't even watched the like actual Netflix comedy show. Like, we've done one of the stand-ups, but apparently the show is just as terrible, and I don't even want to know what she's put in that, because I've read some stuff and apparently it's absolutely horrific as well as unfunny, which at this point is not really a crime compared to everything else that she's been doing. Being unfunny is the least of her worries. At the end of the day, I just can't believe all of this stuff has barely been seen by anybody. Probably because it was bought by children, by their parents, who barely looked over what they were looking at. I'm telling you now, if I ever end up being a dad, I'm making sure that I don't let them watch any YouTubers. They can't be trusted. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Friendly reminder that yeah, we've got like a new hoodie coming out. I'm absolutely in love with the new stuff. The quality is incredible. It's like the best stuff we've ever produced. And the acid wash hoodie goes off, so I can't wait to release that. As well as that, I've been uploading really regularly on the second channel, so if you want to watch more videos of mine, the Alex Elmslie YouTube channel is linked in the description below. Go watch the other Colleen video if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one, where we'll probably go and watch her show. Bye.